Okay, so this is Math 2. We're going to do numbers 65 and 66, and it might take us the entire time period to actually do these two problems. I wasn't going to do anything today, but then I looked through just to make sure to see what you guys were doing, and I realized, holy moly, this is super confusing, especially with the answers and the hints and all this stuff. So I thought I'd break down 65 with you one more time, because we did a couple of it in school, in class, except we didn't actually graph. So we're going to do 65, and then 66 it's got area modeling to it, so I might have to just pause for a second and actually go get my tiles so we can see what's going on with them. Alright, and then, right, so 65. Determine the exact x-intercepts of y equals x plus 4 squared minus 7. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, well, this is slightly confusing because how are we supposed to take the exact x-intercepts? And then so I thought to myself, okay, oh, I know. Okay, well, we're just going to do the same thing we did in class today. All right, but we're going to have to sketch. Okay, so the first thing it asks is what are the approximate x-intercepts? So I think what it really wanted you to actually determine the exact vertex of the parabola, because it wouldn't make sense to approximate and then get the exact, because you don't have exact x-intercepts. They're going to be an approximation for right now. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to email them about that one. So, the first thing we're going to do is look at what it says for the hints. So, it says the answer are these two, and that should make absolutely no sense to you whatsoever unless you're actually did the lesson. And we didn't do the lesson with square roots. I actually had you find the decimal version of it. So for right now, I just want you guys to get good at finding the decimal. We'll worry about the square roots later. So the first thing that we did in class, so I'm going to cover this up because I need to write. So the first thing that we did was, besides rewriting it, which is what I'm going to do now, x plus 4 in parentheses squared minus 7 was you want to find the x-intercept, if you recall. So that means you're going to have, if possible, you're going to need two of them. So one of them and then the second one, you're going to get a number here and the y is going to be 0. You're going to get a number here, the y is going to be 0. And since the y is 0 for both of them, that means we're going to replace or substitute the y for 0. And then we have x plus 4 squared minus the 7. So, in class today we found out that when you have a 0, it's equal to 0, then you actually are supposed to get one intercept only, or it's a double intercept. So, but looking at this, we don't necessarily have x plus 4 squared by itself yet. We still have a negative 7 on the right side. So we can't say anything yet until it's in standard form with the quantity squared, so the quantity squared, and then just the number. We can't have any other numbers tagging along. So in order to get rid of this, well, I'm not going to get rid of it, but in order to change the balance of the equation, we're going to add 7 here, we're going to add 7 here. That gives us a 0 pair, so now 7 is equal to x plus 4 squared. So now you will notice that we have a positive value in our standard form, which means we should get two answers, or two solutions, for our parabola, and we will, because we really want to find the x-intercept. So your hint was that you're going to find two of them in the actual problem. So the first thing that we did after we got it into this form was we took the square root of both sides. Now, if you have some serious issues with me writing it this way, by all means, you can rewrite it in this direction. And whichever way you prefer, they obviously are both the same. But since we did a bunch of them in class that look like that, this should not be that difficult to follow along. We are going to take the square root of both sides because we want to clear the square on the x plus 4. And that should give us the next step of x plus 4. This side, because there's two of them, and then plus or minus the square root of 7. So the plus and minus, right? Plus and minus, plus and minus. All right. Now, as soon as we got to this part, I told my kids, well, you have two of them, so you can split them apart. One of them is going to be the positive of the square root of 7, x plus 4, and then one is going to be the negative square root of 7 equals x plus 4. We are not trying to solve anything. We just want to go split them both up and then solve from there. Now, the square root of 7 on the calculator is a really weird number. It is obviously irrational because you're not going to find one number, a whole number I should say, that when you multiply it by itself is going to give you a 7. It's going to be kind of an icky number, but that's okay. We're fine with that, if you can see. Sorry. Square root of 7 I'm typing in. Uh-oh. My computer just froze. No, don't freeze.